he's a special type of athlete, as we all know. He's one of those guys that are at the pinnacle of this sport here. I talk with Javier all the time, and Islam and those guys are always doing great. So they're in great hands. Javier is the one who builds champions. He's a master at what he does. So he's always with those guys. He's always with Islam, and so I know they're in great hands. They're getting exactly what they need as far as the the fighting goes, the training goes, all of that. So I see him. I see Islam just continuously doing what he's doing, and that's winning impressively. He's somebody who's mastered all aspects of MMA.
Hey, by the way, before I wrap it up, just back to the UFC for a second. In your old division, or in your division of welterweight, Islam Makhachev takes on Ian Garry, right? I just want to know, from your perspective, do you think Ian Garry's got a shot here to win the belt?
Yeah, definitely. He has a shot for sure. You know, even though he's a cuck and he sits in the corner of the room and watches his wife get dogged out by the nutritionist, he still has a shot. You know, there's no doubt about it. He's a long, lanky fighter. Islam's getting a little older. Who knows Islam's motivation anymore? You know, he wanted that big money matchup with Ilya, and now that matchup is gone and destroyed forever. So that matchup will never happen. So we just got to see what his motivation level is, you know, and you know, he's going to be a lot smaller than Ian. So, I mean, I think he inflicts his will, and, you know, he takes him down and makes it a boring fight. But, you know, definitely Ian can win. He has paths to victory on the feet, but we'll have to see what type of evolution he has in his wrestling and jiu-jitsu game.
I cannot wait to step into the octagon against Islam Makhachev and beat him, because there will be no doubt that I have done it against the best. To be the best, you have to beat the best. And my next opponent right now is regarded by everyone in the world as the #1 ranked pound-for-pound fighter on the planet. Make no excuses. There will be no doubt. After the fight, I just want it to be known that Ian Machado, Garry, is great.
I love the compelling nature of what you're telling us, but can I take you back to further in the process?
Take me wherever you want to go.
Well, I'm interested in that period where you engage in what could defeat me, what are the things that could kill me here. And I'm interested in how you manage that process, because that must evoke emotions of sort of wariness, fear, maybe a little bit of hesitancy.
Frustration.
So,
yeah. Trying to unlock the keys to solve what I believe to be his kryptonite as such.
But they're uncomfortable emotions, and I'm interested in how you handle that process to get to where you are now, where you've got this compelling confidence that you know you have the keys to the puzzle.
The life I live is ruthless. The sport I'm in takes no prisoners. Like, it's a bloody, beautiful, violent sport.
Yep.
And if you don't come in ready, then you get thrown to the sharks. Like, when the going gets tough, you either swim or you drown. And I feel like putting yourself in a position where you know mentally and physically you have felt that uncomfort gives you the ability to focus and fight.
And I'm telling you right now, this fight for Islam Makhachev may be a lot harder than what people think. Given all of the accolades that Islam Makhachev has, it's easy to just dismiss Ian Garry and say, listen, he's got to just run right through him. Okay, you could send him to Dagestan or Georgia for 20 years and still forget all about it.
Send him 2-3 years Dagestan and forget.
Okay, because Islam Makhachev is the GOAT. He's going to take him down. The man's Irish. They don't wrestle in Ireland, for crying out loud. Well, guess what? He's a well-rounded mixed martial artist. He's 17-1. He had a very, very close fight with Shavkat Rakhmonov. Ended the fight threatening the rear naked choke. He beat the former champion, Belal Muhammad, that wrestled the life out of Leon Edwards, okay? So this is a real fight. Before you start to think that this is just going to be one-way traffic, I'm telling you, this is going to be a lot. The record of Islam Makhachev is 28 wins and 1 loss with 18 stoppages. And of course, if he can get a hold of Ian Garry and take him down, yeah, it's probably going to be easy. Ian will struggle to get back to his feet. And I don't think he can match Islam in terms of jiu-jitsu or submission grappling, okay? But it's the style that Ian Garry has. It is the length and the reach that he has. And it is his ability to silence out the crowd and not give a damn if you people are booing. If everyone in the arena is throwing their popcorn and the drinks and going, boo, this is garbage, because all Ian Garry is doing is dancing around, popping the jab, throwing the right hand, using push kicks to keep Islam away, he won't care, because on paper or according to the judges, he's winning the fight. And his job is to win the fight and become the welterweight champion of the world. But of course, it ain't going to be easy. Islam's going to go forward. I'm just saying, Philadelphia, they've got a real fight on the hands.
He does have the length. Ian does a very good job of controlling distance. Islam does a better job, I believe, of taking away distance. But you got a training camp. You got some time. Ian Garry, in theory, with that distance, in theory, he's right. If he can learn to keep you at the end of their punches. But I also find end of punches and controlling range to be lazy from guys that are trying to do what I do. I find end of punches, keeping range, I find this to be throwaway terms that fight analysts do. And the reason I say that, Dan Hooker is the only MMA guy I've ever seen that knows how to keep you at the end of punches and use range. And in the world of boxing, I got to go all the way back to the hitman Tommy Hearns. Like in theory, yes. In theory, if you can keep the guy's head out here at the end of your punch and you've got this distance, he can't get in and take you down. In theory. But one guy since 1993 has actually done it, Dan Hooker. One guy in boxing that I've witnessed, Tommy Hitman Hearns, who did most of his best work before I was born.
As one of the biggest matches of the year is coming up, the rivalry between Islam Makhachev and Ian Machado Garry keeps getting stronger by the day. Garry keeps attracting attention through his bold prediction that he will reveal the champion, shut the naysayers, and walk away with the welterweight belt. This has led to heated discussion among the MMA community. Former champions, top-level MMA fighters, experienced coaches, and even analysts have provided their views regarding the upcoming matchup. While some people think that Garry is capable of producing an enormous upset, others feel that the champion's wrestling ability and championship experience are too strong.
I want to fight. I'm livid that I have to wait 9 months between my last fight and my next fight. I would have fought twice in between that. Or at least once at the very bare minimum. I want to compete. Like, I want to be active. I don't want to spend the best years of my life inactive.
Yeah.
And I'm 28 years of age right now. Thank God I'm young. But if I was 34 and I was waiting 9 months, I'd be livid. So over the next decade, if I fight, considering I'm at the top of the sport right now and I plan to dominate this division, activity matters for me. You have to be I put myself in positions when I'm training where we play drills or we do things that force me into where I believe this opponent could have success. So, for example, if I'm fighting a big striker who's sloppy and aggressive, well, I'll probably get people to be sloppy and aggressive and work my defense and feel it and understand how to move around that and utilize his energy to get out or take advantage of those holds.
Yep.
And you have to see an opening. You're not going to see it in a fight if you've never prepared for it. I tell you what, when I was fighting MVP, Michael Venom Page has been around the sport a long, long time. I don't know if you guys know about him. He's an English fighter, phenomenally talented on the feet. He makes great fighters look like amateurs.
Yep.
And it's incredible. It's an incredible talent to have, but it's a very specific skill set that he has. I have watched fight after fight after fight, people just look dazzled, like they've never seen anything like.
Do you like him in this fight with Ian? What's the Kalshi trading market here? 72% for Islam Makhachev to win. Ian Garry just 28%. Do you like Ian's path to victory better than that? And if so, what do you think it would be?
Yeah, no, I think it's a tough fight for Ian, but he's also a different type of test for Makhachev. I think the odds should be a little bit closer just because he's really tall. He's not afraid to have a boring fight. Like he will move on you nonstop. He's a little hard to take down. So if he keeps it standing, I think we got an exciting fight. So it's an interesting fight. I think it should be a little bit closer than that.
even though some of the main events haven't been headlined by undisputed champions, the cards this year have been pretty good. Even when Volkanovski fought Diego Lopez, the fight that we didn't want to see again, the card was pretty good. We had Fiziev and Rufi on there, Benoit St. Denis versus Dan Hooker on there. You know, we've had some good cards, okay? But Makhachev versus Ian Garry, as good of a fight as this is. I mean, this is like a highly anticipated fight. Ian Garry is a extremely deserving contender. Makhachev, every single time he fights, it could be at this point his last fight. I mean, we don't know how it's going to go, but we know he's not going to stick around for 5 more fights. And also, every time he fights, he's just further solidifying his incredible legacy, which could be the best career of all time. Okay? Or at least the best career in the octagon of all time. The point is, Islam Makhachev and Ian Garry's a great fight.
Ian's confidence also doesn't seem to be all surface deep. Garry says that his greatest asset is not his physical prowess, but rather the way he handles himself in a battle. He mentioned that when his career ends, he would like to be considered among the most intelligent MMA fighters ever. As per Garry, it is his fight IQ which enables him to spot things which other people fail to see, giving him an edge over the best in the game. Once he gets into his flow, he can even see how his opponent will act by reading his eyes.
When everything is said and done and I retire and my career has unfolded over the next decade, I want it to be abundantly clear that I am one of the most intelligent fighters to ever grace this planet. I have an incredible fight IQ and my eyes see things differently to the rest of the world. That's what separates me from being good and great, but from being great to on a different level.
Yep.
Is that I can see things. I can look in your eyes and I can see what you're going to do before you do it. And I love that about me because I can literally...
What, during the fight?
During sparring, during the fight, whatever it is. Obviously, people are unpredictable and people will do things, but when I am in my flow state and I've separated from the world and my body is just moving, I can see your mind.
Further, Garry elaborated on how he applies such approach when he enters the cage each time. Garry stated that he never takes his eyes off the eyes of his opponent. He tucks his chin and keeps his guard up while observing from behind his eyebrows. As per Garry, he forces his opponents to make certain moves which enable him to understand the move of his opponent and take advantage of the right moment to attack. Furthermore, Garry informed me that he always starts his preparations by looking at the worst possible situation an opponent can get himself into and finds ways to counteract these weaknesses.
And I can see it through your eyes. That's why I never take my eyes off your eyes when I fight. I'm locked in. I put my chin down. My chin goes into my chest. My shoulders cover my face. And I look through my eyebrows and I watch your eyes. And I will see your movements through your head. Because one, I've set you up to do them. Because my movement is beautiful and majestic. But also, I can see how you're trying to counter these. And then I just pick my shots.
And to get into that place, is there a process that you have to go through ahead of the fight?
Yeah, I think there is. I think the way I fight, again, is I focus on, early on in my camp, I focus on the negative elements. What could he do to have success? I slowly dwindle that out so that I'm having more and more and more and more success. And then it's let the horse run. We often refer to myself as like a racehorse. You have to let the horse.
According to Garry, a few weeks before each bout, his coaches let go and allow him to spar without any restraint. According to him, this is the time everything comes into action. He referred to his sparring sessions as something unique, as he claims that even his coaches and his wife cannot help reacting whenever he gets into action. Moreover, he appreciates Coach Stout and refers to him as the devil sitting on his shoulder during the bouts. According to Garry, his coach never allows him to rest and always encourages him to be aggressive and attack his opponents at every chance he gets. Then Garry also stated that his training camps are designed to prepare him for the worst case scenarios he anticipates in his fights. In his training camp, instead of trying to avoid his opponent's strengths, Garry goes ahead to create them himself in the gym so that he is able to develop ways to counter them, handle the pressure that comes with them, and convert them into his own strengths. According to Garry, fighters are unable to take advantage of opportunities that they have not been trained for. Garry cited his fight with Michael Venom Page, where he trained endlessly in order to understand his striking style. Furthermore, Garry also disclosed an unexpected philosophy about how he prepares himself, stating that his greatest strength does not depend on always working harder than all other people. According to Garry, the actual 1% lies in resting, recovering, and having fun outside the gym. Having time with his wife, kids, friends, and relatives keeps him refreshed and at his best. In addition, rather than doing extra training, Garry said that he trains only once per day on average, 5 days a week, even during his fight camp. However, when it is necessary to work, he puts in 100% of his efforts. As for him, it is much more important than spending more time in the gym. Garry also made a covert attack on Makhachev when talking about the extended period until he decides to fight. According to Garry, he is disappointed in the fact that he will spend 9 months without fighting and that he would prefer to have had at least 1 and preferably 2 fights during this period. Garry pointed out that being involved in combat sports is an important part of his mentality, especially when he is young and in the prime of his athletic career. He is 28 years old now. He is convinced that the best athletes need to fight as much as possible and not be inactive for a long time. In the future, Garry expects to dominate the welterweight division for the next 10 years. While Garry remained confident in his own chances, not everyone counted him out. Former interim welterweight champion Colby Covington admitted that Garry has a real path to victory against Islam Makhachev. He pointed to Garry's size, length, and striking as potential advantages, while also questioning whether Makhachev is as motivated as he once was after missing out on some of the biggest fights available. However, Covington still warned that if the champion succeeds in imposing his wrestling and controlling the fight on the mat, it could be a long night for the challenger. In the end, he said Garry's biggest question mark is whether his wrestling and jiu-jitsu have improved enough to deal with Makhachev's relentless grappling. Covington wasn't the only former champion who gave Garry a chance. Chris Weidman also believes the matchup is closer than the betting odds suggest. While admitting Makhachev is still the favorite, Weidman argued that Garry presents a very different challenge than the champion has faced before. He pointed to Garry's height, movement, and ability to avoid prolonged exchanges as qualities that could make him difficult to deal with. Weidman also noted that Garry is tough to take down and isn't afraid to fight a patient, tactical battle if that's what it takes. In his view, if Garry can keep the fight standing, he has a genuine opportunity to make things very interesting for the champion. Another analyst, Lucas Tracy, also praised the matchup, calling Ian Machado Garry a fully deserving title challenger. He said the fight is one of the most anticipated on the UFC calendar, not only because of Garry's rise, but also because every appearance from Islam Makhachev feels increasingly significant. Tracy noted that Makhachev may not have many fights left in his career, making each title defense another opportunity to strengthen what he believes could become one of the greatest legacies in UFC history. With that in mind, he sees the clash with Garry as an important chapter for both men and one that fans should be excited to watch. So, after hearing what the MMA world had to say, who do you think walks away with the welterweight title? Will Islam Makhachev continue his dominant reign, or can Ian Machado Garry pull off the upset? Share your prediction in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more UFC news and updates.